It's that time again. It's Tuesday at 10's video blog from Fun Enterprises. This is Ken Abrams. Recently, I read an article, I'm pretty sure it was in the Chronicle of Higher Education, on the issue of, or the question of, is college worth it? It's certainly a question that's been bandied about now for quite some time. College has gotten very expensive for everybody. And for some people, the question has become, is this really worth it? Well, the article went on in great depth to look at a number of different majors and what the expected salary range was getting out of college and then in 10 years. And kind of gave people the idea of, hey, is this really worth it or isn't it? Here's what you're going to get paid more than likely right out of college, and here's what you're going to be looking at in 10 years. So based on the amount of debt you're going to rack up, or if you don't rack up any debt, based on the amount of money that you're going to pay to attend college, the question really is it worth it? It wasn't until later in the article that they started talking about things that are not necessarily tied to just revenue or income. They asked really the question that I've asked for quite some time, which is how do you define success? If success is simply a numeric figure or a number that you're going to make either right out of college in 10 years or over your lifetime, that's a pretty easy thing to figure out. You simply estimate what your gross earning potential is going to be or what your gross earnings will be, and you juxtapose that with what those earnings would be if you didn't go to college. But you know what? Success is really hard to define. And they did mention things like what we call non-economic benefits. Those are things like a flexible work schedule, living in the area you want to live, being close to family and friends, not having to work more than a 40 or 50-hour work week. Those are things that are considered non-economic benefits. To me, the question of what is success is a much bigger question. Everybody defines success differently. To some people, success is about money. It's about status. It's about what you own or what you are able to buy and the neighborhood you live in. But for other people, it's much more ambiguous. I look at my own parents. My father, for example, was very much a materialistic individual. We had to live in the right neighborhood and have a nice house so that, again, we had this wonderful appearance of probably being upper middle class. For my mother, money never mattered. She was much more about the good that she was able to do and the impression or the way that people perceived her and what she was able to do for people. Probably the reason that my father was in business and my mother was a special ed teacher. But she was a really good special ed teacher. And one of the things that she was most proud of is many of her students stayed in touch with her years after she was out of their classroom or they were out of her classroom. They often called her for life advice. They often called her to ask her questions about whether or not they should get married, have kids, what kind of jobs they should get. She loved that interaction. And for one of the other things my mother was well known for, she was a social justice warrior long before that was a popular term and long before many people even knew what it was. How do you define success? Is success a number for you? Is success a position that you have? Is it having the right address? You have to decide that on your own. What's success to me? Well, does that really matter? Because again, success is very different for each one of us. I wish you the best as you define how success or what success means to you.